Smile. Do you have a favorite card?
Queen.
Okay, do you know which queen?
Diamonds.
Queen of diamonds.
Yeah.
Can you go to your photo album? I don't want to do anything anymore at this point. Oh yeah, that looks a lot like the Queen of Diamonds to me, doesn't it?
How was Shin Lim able to magically transform a blank card in a photo into a freely thought of card while performing with Melissa Fumero on America's Got Talent? Well, before I reveal the secret, here's what actually happened. Shin Lim began by introducing a blank card and asked Melissa to hold on to it while he took a photo of it on her phone to save for later. He placed the blank card aside, asked her to name her favorite card, and she said, "The Queen of Diamonds." From there, he had her shuffle the deck, cut it anywhere she wanted, keep whichever packet she liked, then deal cards from that packet and stop whenever she felt like it. Turns out, she stopped exactly on her freely thought of card. Shin then spread through the deck to show every card was different and that there was only one Queen of Diamonds. After that, he asked Melissa to kiss the card so her lipstick mark would make it stand out, folded the Queen of Diamonds and had her bite down on it, then took a completely random card, the Two of Hearts, folded that too, and placed it in his mouth. When the folded cards were opened, they had impossibly switched places. Then, with a simple wave of his hand, the Queen of Diamonds vanished into thin air. Shin asked Melissa to open the photo they had taken earlier, and suddenly the blank card from the beginning had transformed into the Queen of Diamonds. To end the performance, he flipped over that same blank card in real life, revealing that it too had become the Queen of Diamonds.
I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
You've been binging videos on this channel, but you still haven't joined my Patreon for absolutely free, where you get early access to all the upcoming videos I've planned for this month. We now have over 800 members on board. Let's hit 1,000 this month. Membership is free to join, and for anyone who wants to support the project further, there are also optional supporter tiers available. Join for free right now by clicking the link in the pinned comment, then get back to watching this reveal video. Shin performed 3 tricks in this act, and honestly, I'd suggest watching this particular reveal video all the way to the end because it's basically a masterclass in sleight of hand. There is one important thing I need to address though, because when Shin Lim asked Melissa to name her favorite card on the spot,
Do you have a favorite card?
Queen. Diamonds.
it created the impression that she genuinely could have named any card, when in reality a setup had already been done before the performance. Remember, this isn't Penn and Teller's Fool Us, where pre-show work isn't allowed. This is America's Got Talent. So what you're seeing on screen is actually out of context. Shin Lim has used pre-show work before, especially during his appearances on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, where he essentially forces a particular card or suit on Questlove before filming, making the selections look completely spontaneous on camera when a clever setup had already been done beforehand. In Melissa's case, before the show, Shin Lim gave Melissa the option to choose any queen from the 4 queens in the deck, then framed that choice as her favorite card by saying things like, "Choose whichever card is your favorite one," and later reinforcing that the specific card she chose was freely selected by her as her favorite one. So, from Melissa's perspective, she genuinely made a free choice between the 4 queens. But later on stage, when Shin talks about her freely thought of favorite card, the audience assumes she could have named absolutely any card on the spot, while Melissa understands it within the context of what already happened before the performance. Since Shin Lim knows Melissa's favorite card is the Queen of Diamonds, he simply brings out the deck prepared for that specific card. Here's how his deck is set up. The top card of the deck is a special gimmick known as the Rainbow card. Right below it is an ordinary Queen of Diamonds. At the very bottom of the deck is another Queen of Diamonds, but with a blank back, and somewhere in the middle are 2 duplicate Two of Hearts. So, what exactly is a rainbow card? It's basically a gimmick with a special property where the card reveals its printed value only when a camera flash hits it while taking a photo. As you can see on the website, each rainbow card is designed to reveal a specific playing card. When Shin takes the photo, The rainbow gimmick already shows Melissa holding the Queen of Diamonds before she even names it, since Shin already knew about it because of the pre-show work I mentioned earlier. Throughout this routine, you'll notice a ton of camera angle changes intentionally used by the producers to hide Shin Lim's sleight of hand, but I'll point out each one as it happens. Right after the photo is taken, Shin secretly ditches the rainbow gimmick card behind the table into a servante and immediately pulls out the Queen of Diamonds from beneath the deck. All of this is done using the deck's natural motion as misdirection. Here's how the switch looks in real time so you can see how quick it all happens. There's a good reason Shin performs this switch at the bottom of the deck, because once the rainbow gimmick is there, he can instantly ditch it behind the table as he brings the deck toward the edge. At this point, the Queen of Diamonds is on top of the deck. He then uses the slip force to reposition the card into the middle before pretending to randomly find it through the spread. Right after taking out the Queen of Diamonds, he places it back on top, performs a top palm by pivoting the card directly into his hand, then drops it into his lap, meaning when Melissa starts shuffling, there's obviously no Queen of Diamonds present in the deck. After Melissa splits the deck and chooses any packet, it genuinely doesn't matter what she does, because at the very last moment before the reveal, Shin simply loads the palmed Queen of Diamonds on top using a Tenkai palm as his hand comes close to the packet. Now remember, the duplicate 2 of Hearts cards are still inside the deck and are needed for the next phase where the folded cards switch places in their mouths. So while spreading through the deck, Shin secretly controls both duplicates to the top using the card culling technique. Here's what card culling looks like in an exposed view. You can actually see Shin, while going through the spread, stops when he sees the 2 of Hearts. Watch as that 2 of Hearts is getting pulled with his bottom middle finger toward the top of the deck. Then, right about here, when the camera angle changes, we get a glimpse of the second 2 of Hearts, and he culls that second duplicate as well, placing the remaining cards underneath. So, now, both 2 of Hearts cards are at the top of the deck face down. He then asks Melissa to kiss the card, and after taking it back, performs a top change while the camera is once again pointed toward Melissa instead of his hands. You can tell he performed a top change because right after the camera cuts back, the top card and the deck are extremely close together, and the positioning of his fingers completely gives it away. So the card he's folding here is actually the 2 of Hearts. At this point, the Queen of Diamonds is on top of the deck with the second duplicate 2 of Hearts directly underneath. Shin performs a double lift to show the 2 of Hearts, flips both cards face down, but then takes the top face down card, which is actually the Queen of Diamonds, and folds it. From there, all the work is done, and when the folded cards are opened, it looks like they've impossibly switched places. Now, Shin only has to do one final sleight of hand move to vanish the Queen of Diamonds. This vanish basically works by using the base of your palm to pull the card right underneath the Queen of Diamonds, reposition it on top, and then very slowly use your index finger to push it right underneath. At the end, there are no more sleight of hand moves needed because, as we already know, the photo already showed the Queen of Diamonds from the beginning, and the blank card itself had been switched right at the start of the routine. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.